Hey y'all, here I am in beautiful Pismo Beach, California, and I'm sitting at a table out just outside of a hotel, and I thought I'd sit down and do a little plein air painting. I hope you enjoy this one. I really enjoyed doing it. Let me let you see what I'm looking at here. I'll put it up on the screen. Here we go. There's my view. That's what I'm trying to paint. And if I just pan around, you can see how nice Pismo Beach looks this time of year. A little fogged in, but still looking pretty good. There we go. Anyways, I am using my standard paints that I have in my travel kit. The brushes that I'm using today are Winsor Newton Cotman brand brushes. I bought them in a 4-pack off of Amazon, and I think they work pretty well for what they are. My paints are a mishmash of a bunch of old paints. I can't tell you exactly what they are. Holbein, Winsor Newton, Sennelier, however you say that name. There's a bunch of different ones that I've just put in here. This is my new camera rig. It's looking down. You see almost exactly what I see as I'm painting it. I hope this works out a lot better for you than the previous rigs I had set up for plein air painting. I've sped the video up just a little bit. It was a bit windy the day I did this, and there's so much wind noise it wasn't worth even trying to talk while I'm doing this. A number of people came by also to say hi and check out, see what I'm doing. So I'm doing a little voiceover. I hope you're enjoying this. But basically what I'm doing is I'm just blocking in some color right now. The hillsides, here the cliff sides I should say, have a little bit of green on them, then give way to some nice brown and some gray down by the water level. So I'm just trying to mimic that. And I don't know why I picked the hill in the middle here, or the cliff side in the middle to do that with, but I'm just going to do that with all of these here real quickly. Okay, so I'm just adding on, mixing in some colors. I'm trying to let the colors mix on the page more than on my palette. So I'm just putting in the colors, making sure I've got green at the top of the hills, then some brown or ochre colors, and a nice gray color at the bottom of the hills. Now this gray is a little more opaque than I'm used to. I didn't realize it was going to be quite like that. I don't typically use this kind of gray, but that's fine. I believe it's Holbein gray. But no matter, here we go. We're just putting in our hillside, or cliffside here, and doing the same thing on all of these, adding a little color, trying to get some definition between the three main hills there, or four I guess, so that there's just some differentiation when you go to look at those. I mixed a little bit of red in there. That should warm things up and draw that closer to us. But I'm just mixing that right on down. And there we go, right down by the water line. We've got some nice gray rocks. All right. And let's see. One last little bit of hillside here to put in. Maybe this one doesn't have quite so much greenery growing on it. Just more raw dirt or earth there. Not a big deal. We'll just pull the rest of that right on down. There we go. Perfect. It's looking good already. There we go. Now we've got a couple of rocks that are sitting out in the water here, so I'm just going to paint those in. We're going to come back to those and put a little shadow on those in just a second. I don't want to get those in, and the ones in the background here, I could put a little blue in there. If I wanted to, that should push those back just a little bit. But maybe we'll do that when we come back and add on a little bit of extra color. Okay, so Now I've got a little gazebo sitting up here. I'm just going to kind of add a little color to the roof there. There's not too much to do on that one. And my nice palm trees, there we go. Just these are far enough out that we don't have to give a lot of detail to them. You'll recognize them as palm trees by their shape, not necessarily by how much detail they have on them. So I'm just going to drop in a little bit of color there and pretty much leave it just like that. I'll give them just a little bit of darkness underneath, a little bit of shadow underneath the palm fronds, but that's about all I'm going to do with those. Now I need to get the water on here. Really going to bring this picture together. I want to put some of this water in, and I want it to be lighter towards the horizon line out there and darker as it comes to me. So I'm going to try to do that as best I can and try not to paint over the rocks or the shoreline, the cliff sides there. I've switched to a flat brush. This also came in the pack that I got from Winsor Newton, just because I want to make sure I get a nice straight line underneath these rocks to make it look like they're jutting out into the water there a little bit. No other reason than that. You could totally use a round brush if you want to. One other nice thing about flat brush is you can cover a lot of space with it, a lot of real estate in a very short amount of time. And it does hold quite a bit of water. There we go. And I'm just going to put in a few lines, like maybe some waves coming in, just about like that. Now I realize I'm painting off the camera just a little bit. I'm not really looking at the camera here. It's basically above my head, shining down onto the paper, so it does make it a little bit difficult. I apologize. I still have some work to do for the next video, I guess. All right, I'm taking a little bit of this brown is sepia, and put a little bit of blue into it, and that's going to help me make my shadows on the rocks that are out in the bay or out in the ocean there, just about like that. There we go, and one a little bit back there. Somebody stopped by. I had to take a second to talk to him to tell him what I was doing. So I apologize for that little delay in there. There we go. And now I just want to give you another quick look, now that you've seen me paint this, a little quick peek at what I've been doing, or what I've been looking at. I know I showed it to you before, but now you can do a little better comparison. I've simplified my painting a little bit and pulled things a little bit closer to me to make it a little bit easier. But I think you get the idea. There's the nice ocean out there. Beautiful California coastline. All right, and what I'm doing on the painting at the moment is I'm putting a little bit of dark just behind the edges of the cliffs to add a little bit of depth. I want the little brighter cliff to show up just by a little bit. So I put a little gray, a little bit of blue in there. It should bring a little bit forward the cliff that's in front of where I'm painting. I hope that made sense to you. You can see me just going around the cliffside in front and taking away most of that, like it's casting a little bit of a shadow on the distant cliff there. There we go. Something like that. We're just about done. I hope you enjoyed spending a little bit of time with me out here painting in the beautiful California sunshine. I enjoyed having you here with me. I hope to do more of these, and I hope you come back and see what I'm doing again. And I've only got a tiny little bit to finish up. I have some fence posts. I'm going to put a little bit more on the roof line here, and I think I'm just about done with it. I'm not going to add too much detail I think it looks pretty good the way it is right now. That's it, folks. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you stopping by and seeing me paint. We'll see you during the next one.